Hello, Willowbrook family. Today's daily Devo is found in John chapter 4, verses 43 through 45, and Luke chapter 4, verses 14 and 15. There are two things I want to point out that these passages have in common. First, both say Jesus returns to Galilee. In John, Jesus had just returned from Samaria, where he had an important conversation with the woman at the well. In fact, that conversation grew to include the entire village. It was so productive that they asked Jesus to stay a few more days. And that's saying something because the Jews and the Samaritans didn't get along. Now, in Luke's passage, Jesus returns to Galilee after being tempted in the wilderness and then beginning his ministry. Now, in both accounts, Jesus comes back to Galilee and things look great. People are welcoming him. They're talking about him. They're praising him. You know, if this happened today, we might even call it revival. But in John, Jesus says the second thing I want to tell you. A prophet has no honor in his own country. Now, you'll find that in verse 44 in John and later in verse 24 in Luke. When Jesus first returns to Galilee, the people welcomed him, but that didn't last long. You see, to understand this, you have to see why they welcomed him. They didn't welcome him because of who he was, the Son of God. They welcomed him because of what they saw he did, miracles and signs. Luke tells us that Jesus was praised, and John gives further insight in that their praise was shallow. Unlike the Samaritans, the Galileans' faith was sign-based. They liked Jesus as a miracle worker, but not as Lord. You know, there's a difference between being impressed by Jesus and being transformed by Jesus. The Galileans praised him, but when his words became hard, many walked away. These two sections of Scripture together help us see an uncomfortable truth. You can like Jesus and still keep him at a distance. You can enjoy what he gives you without surrendering yourself. And later in chapter 4 of Luke, we can see people cheering today and trying to kill him on the same day. True faith doesn't just clap for Jesus. It commits to Jesus, regardless of your circumstances. True faith is more about obedience than it is about applause. Have a great day in the Lord, Willowbrook.